My peeps, hello. I'm taking a second stab at this because I did a reading and it just didn't sit right with me. It just didn't seem to cohere. So I'm going to try it again. And the general focus was the idea of routine and how routine both anchors us in a helpful way and also can create a real rut. Routine, rut, you know, stuck in a rut. And our brains are actually wired with the possibility of doing that to the point where we're really going in a certain neural pathway just again and again, like triggered by something that may remind us of something that happened long ago, and suddenly we're back down that trail, which maybe is not healthy. And there might be a need to break trail to get out of the rut. And one of the things that got me going on that was back in the day, my mother would occasionally leave a message with the school switchboard or whatever, the secretary, saying, I've got an appointment for Liza. She has to, you have to let her out of class because dentist appointment or whatever, and it was bogus. She just once in a while spontaneously would just pick me up and say, we're going to the zoo, or we're going to the Smithsonian Museum, or we're, it was so delightful just to have the routine of the day broken. So there's something about the routine and the neural pathways and the need to break trail or break free. I do it even with the littlest things, like, okay, using a different cup for my morning coffee, or a new pathway on my walk, or new pathway, page of wands, Knight of Wands. Wands are directional. It's like, this is something lively and creative, Wands energy, spontaneous, going to the beat of is she playing a drum? Yeah. Something to the beat of your own drum. You may be walking a path that's very, very different from what you've done before. And it's wild, It's not like the well-trodden two paths diverge in a... That poem, I think it's Frost. I took the one less traveled by. The less traveled path. Somehow breaking trail. Trailblazing. See, it's a fire energy card, but trailblazing, you're a trailblazer. You may have broken free from something. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles can mean reciprocity, a give and take in 3D. Knight of Wands. You may be breaking, this speaks to time. Pentacles can speak to time. There might have been a well-established way of, you do this, I'll do that. You give me this, I'll give you that. Kind of a contractual arrangement. And you're going to do something different? There's the eternity symbol here. I think you're breaking free from some well-established... This is almost like the neural pathway. I don't know if you can see it, but some well-established way of give and take that, you know, you may break free from that rut. Five of Wands. That's a card of doing the work, struggling to change something. A change of direction, a change of how we do it, Wands energies. Temperance. Also in fire energy, a card of Sagittarius. That's a card of balance and like synergy, you know, two things coming together in some kind of, I mean, here we got that same figure eight. The infinity symbol. It might be divine timing. Something may have run its course in a way. Like over time, Pentacles energy, some way of relating to each other or something like that might have gotten routine. So there was some kind of shake-up. Let's do it differently. And it may be time to do it differently. The Temperance card. And it's also like the beat of the drum, the tempo. You know, a call to action, to wildness. Wands can speak to action and kind of spontaneity and creativity. And the change, Five of Wands change, is always kind of risky. It's like doing something on the fly. Here comes Rue. Tell us more. The new neural pathway, the breaking trail. Five of Pentacles. That can be a card of being out in the cold, of feeling abandoned. Fives indicate a need for change. Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles. Finding a new path. Like, this can be a lack of self-worth. Pentacles speak to worth, to value. Somehow being shut out. Working through some sort of abandonment issue, maybe by breaking a routine, by breaking free. Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. It may be some kind of routine that became, that lost its value somehow. That made you feel cut off from life, from spontaneity. But you're kind of becoming in touch with your wild spirit. Magician. This is kind of productive chaos. You know, let's work out a new way of doing it. Manifesting some kind of life force energy out of something that had become a routine. And there's something about, the door here is closed. And this is kind of manifesting a new what? Let's see. Oh yeah, change. The end of something, the beginning of something else, like a new vista. Allow the thing to end. It's death and rebirth, it says right down on the bottom. And between the death and rebirth, is the infinity symbol again. So we're getting a lot of this figure 8 business. Life goes on. It might be that, if you felt this way, like deprived and out in the cold, there's a big emotional transformation on the way that's sort of seen over by the deepest forces in the psyche of you. Co-creating with, you're part of creation. You create your life all the time. Yeah, we have to deal with circumstance, and 5 of Wands, we have to work through, we have to struggle through. Okay. Strength card. Leo. Having the courage, I think, to manifest that new way through. It's not the old way. The struggle to revivify something, make it new. And, from a place of power, not strength card, power, courage, not from a place of deprivation. I think you can work your way out of find a way out of the hole, out of the rut. A Knight of Wands, Tower. Well, that's a way out of the rut, pretty dramatically. The old structure comes down. It had become somehow routine or inhibiting. Some emotional energy, I see it as a card of Scorpio. Some kind of emotional energy, there's a big shift. There's a death and rebirth. And it's, I always see Tower as liberating. Ultimately it's liberating. It's a new path. It's a new way home. It's a new home. Moon card. I think there's an awful lot that goes on the surface in 3D. Sometimes we don't even realize it could be out of our depth, but I think it's more like somebody's deciding not to take the same route, to go the same well-trodden path. And it has not only to do with this kind of linear sense of the path, but it's a submersion in, and it can be considered a scary place to some people. Card of Cancer. Well, rats, this isn't, rats phooey. Well, this is the unknown. What's unconscious but coming to consciousness. And it might be your own feelings of like, this is too small. That tower, that it's like it's too tight a space. So you're breaking free from the routine that may have been established over years. 6 of Pentacles, could be 6 years. And there's this struggle to change the pattern. And I think the courage to allow something to come to consciousness that may have been repressed, like struggling to, it may be outside interference. But whatever it is, it seems to me you're transforming, transmuting something routine into something new and lively. You're a trailblazer. I think it's something you've repressed is working its way to the surface. Chariot card. A bunch of these are repeats from the last reading and different deck. You know, this is forward movement in terms of feelings and emotion and connection. Water energy, same. A transformation coming that's possibly mind-blowing. It may involve a literal move. Sometimes chariot can mean that, like getting out of some sort of situation or even physically relocating. It takes courage. Something you've manifested, this new path forward. Six of Cups, also in the last reading. You know, that's a card of the soulmate, it's sometimes called, of memory, of nostalgia, of a relationship that grows, all these cups getting bigger and bigger over time. You know, there's the old guy and the dog and the young pup and the young pup. It may be breaking free of some sort of pattern that was too small. It had become somehow routine. You know, feed the dog, let the dog out. It's sort of like our animal brain likes a routine because, you know, it's a way to sort of know where you are on the path. And there's something here about the new path, you know, that gets you out of this somehow dead-end feeling where you feel boxed in. And I think it takes courage and hard work to envision it, you know, and manifest it. And it's not always is that yet another? Yeah, it's another, on this guy's hat is another infinity symbol. It might even be like just breaking out of the routine, the sort of fog of daily life in order to fully come into your own, the Leo energy of the Strength card. And manifesting from some sort of internal state that is strong and stable, blowing up the way it used to be. Also in the last reading, Six of Swords. I see that as crossing over some kind of liminal space, you know, in the mind, towards someplace calmer, to the far shore. We have Six of Swords, Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles is 18, which is the Moon card. Crossing over the waters, a new state of mind, or regaining a calm after this unsettling but liberating boom. Four of Cups. It comes with a certain regret. It may involve, breaking a pattern with a soulmate. And that doesn't mean necessarily leaving them behind. It just means, let's try something new. And it may be a struggle. You may be in a kind of tug of war with somebody. This can be a card of sort of apathy and depression. Like a numbness, something that muffles feelings. Well, they're not muffled anymore. World card. Things are opening up. I see this as a big change in the psyche, a portal. It's a card of Capricorn. It's on the basis of what you've done, a breakthrough. Both of these cards are like a open it up breakthrough. And it might be you yourself moving on from Six of Swords, moving on from some kind of period of regret or sadness or numbness. And on the emotional level, things are really changing. They're transmuting. Maybe after some kind of seismic shaking things up. Closing out a cycle, 10 of Wands. Moving on. It's a little bit like done that, been there. Wands can speak to doing things, of action. Done everything I could do. Done that, been there. Taking the new path forward, the new breaking trail. And again, it looks like moving to me. And it doesn't need to be a physical move. There are a lot of cards of movement. Six of Swords, crossing over to the other side. 10 of Wands, packing up and hitting the road. Will take courage. You've manifested a new way forward. You're bringing something into 3D from some conceptual place. But it's not like it's some sort of, because concepts can really solidify things and keep us stuck. And that's not this. It's a liberation from routine, perhaps. Yeah, Fool card. The new beginning, the new path, the willingness to take the risk, to take the leap of faith. Wands energy, Aries. Wands energy, 10 of Wands. Closing out a cycle and starting fresh. Is there one more? Knight of Swords. And I'm hearing like sort of read all about it. Tell. Again, it's the movement thing, right? This guy's running toward the motorcycle, hot footing it somewhere, right to the edge, to the jumping off point. It's almost like taking a running, it's like taking a running leap. Maybe you know it's divine timing for this change to happen. It's sort of like there's no going back. Like the path you've taken, it's sort of like it disappears behind you as you go. you're certainly not stuck outside the door anymore. You know, you're passing through the aperture into the new terrain. We had that yesterday, I think, moving forward. Some sort of victory after struggle. It took strength. It took courage. Is that it? Is this it? Is this it? Also in the other reading, 8 of Cups. You know, that's the continuing journey. It can mean leaving somebody. You know, it can mean just moving on to a brighter day, to the next day, to the next, you know, on the move, to the next moment. I'd say it seems to me the basic message here is, you know, be brave enough to close out a cycle. If you've done everything you could do, it like comes to its natural end and then to the rebirth. So you're jumping off not into the void, perhaps into the unknown, but it's, you know, it's the new neural pathway. The swords speak to mental energy, or, you know, the energy of the brain. New neural pathway. 6 of Swords. I mean, it's going to lead to a kind of fulfillment through the portal and then keep going. I mean, I think that that's part of the ticket here, is that, you know, we don't ever really arrive. We do it in it's, you know, always like the next leg of the race. Hit the ground running. There's definitely something that was constricting being exploded so that you can, Knight of Wands, move forward. Knight of Swords, it perhaps in stages. You're in some kind of in-between place now. Like, it's sort of like you've closed out a cycle and you're poised, ready to leap into the next stage of your life. A whole new level. You may have some regrets. You may have actually left somebody behind. Doesn't mean you stopped loving them. It just means that it was time to break free. And I think it's time, and it's divine timing for this death and rebirth. Temperance can speak to that divine timing. Marching to the beat of your drum. Going right off the edge. You know, with faith. It doesn't necessarily mean reckless, but it does mean a willingness to take the risk, to walk a new way. And there might be resistance to that in the people around you. I think you're going for something. And it might at first feel very disruptive. But it's like I think something has served its term, you know? It's something has come to fruition. It's time for you to go to the next level. And you're boy, are you on the move? You're taking a running a running jump, you know, gaining momentum, something like that. And then out of the gate, Knight of Wands. Wild. Okay, we have Cancer in the Moon card, Leo in the Strength card, Virgo Gemini in the Magician, Scorpio in the Death card, Cancer in Chariot, Scorpio again in Tower, that's how I read it, Capricorn in the World card, Aries in the Fool card, and this is a lot of major arcana. Blowing past the locked door. Blowing past it. Yeah. Okay, you guys. Sigh. I'll see you next time.